Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Capitol. Opening on the Committee on Health, Human Services, and Homelessness for the purposes of having a hearing for Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, 9 a.m. agenda. Gotta go over the rules. So for those either in person or online, just remember we have a 2-minute testifying time limit. Please be respectful of that for everybody. Highlight your testimony. We have all the testimonies submitted in front of us. Because this is a morning hearing, we need to be able to move on to decision making by 11:30. If not, many of these measures may not be able to be rescheduled due to time conflicts. If you're on Zoom, please mute yourself and your video off until you are able to testify. Just to highlight, Zoom chat only goes to the technical people. They do not let us know. If you get disconnected, just try to rejoin. And if there's a network failure, we will try to either reset it up or reschedule. Please remember, for those that are on Zoom, that there are no trademarked or copyright images. And please refrain from profanity and uncivilized behavior. And those here, please, don't try to charge the desk. Okay? All right. So moving on to the first measure, SB 2032 SD2 relating to genetic information privacy. I have DCCA.
Good morning, Chair Yamane and members of the committee. Raji Tolentino standing in for Steve Levins. OCP will stand on its written testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And we have Coalition for Data Genetic Protection.
Morning, Chair, Vice Chair, committee members. The coalition stands on its written testimony in support of the bill, except to the extent of the penalty provisions, to the extent that it creates a private right of action for the original language.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have here that is in Zoom or in person. I have Quest Diagnostics providing comments and Gerard Silva in opposition. Anybody here wishing to testify on this measure? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to SB 2115 SD1 relating to the room confinement of minors. Judiciary?
Good morning, Chair.
Oh, he got promoted. Wow. He's all happy now.
I'm Miyamoto on behalf of the state. Strongly support the measures in the part of the staff of our written testimony, however, for your attention to the amendments that we respectfully offer. One is the eliminating review for all posting of data on the Department of Human Services website.
Okay. Okay, and we have those. Thank you. Okay, I have Department of Health.
Hi, hello.
Hi.
Good morning to the chair and to the committee members. My name is Kurt Humphrey. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. I work for the Department of Health Child and Adolescent Mental Health Division. I'm the medical director there. And before I took that position, I was the psychiatrist for the Family Court Liaison Branch, which is the mental health branch of the division that does the work of providing mental health care to the youth in the Hawaii Youth Correctional Facility, as well as the detention home and Home Maluhia shelters. Our written testimony is excellent. It really highlights, I think, the need for this bill, but I just wanted to provide, my own personal experience, because as the psychiatrist that provides the care for the youth in lockup, I've seen the effects of room confinement on these youth, and it's more than just theoretical, the damage that it can do to these kids' mental health. So I have seen kids become suicidal. I've seen them self-harm. I've seen them become delusional and paranoid. I have seen them have hallucinations. I've seen their behavior really deteriorate in response to excessive room confinement. I've seen room confinement employed in many different circumstances. Sometimes it's hours, sometimes it's days. I've even rarely seen it go on.
Can you wrap up your comments in the next 1 or 2 sentences, please?
Yeah, it's this bill is really important. It's going to protect kids' mental health, and we need these rules to help safeguard what we're doing in these facilities for these kids. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have one more ACLU.
Hi, good morning, Chair, members of the committee. My name is Hope Korpelman. I'm the Legal and Legislative Fellow with the ACLU of Hawaii. We strongly support this bill. Children should never be held in tiny cells for 22 to 23 hours a day for days and weeks on end, and this is still a problem in our state. The ACLU of Hawaii has received reports in the past of the misuse and overuse of juvenile solitary in Hawaii. 2 examples, one child of Pacific Islander descent was held in confinement for 31 days straight just due to verbal outbursts. And another child was held in solitary for 7 days because she had head lice. This is a horrendous response to a medical problem, and the incident caused her suicidal ideation to return. The research is very clear that solitary confinement is actively harmful to adults, so you can imagine the even more dire consequences for children. Many children in juvenile detention facilities already suffer from mental illnesses, and isolation only leads to more harm while also failing to address the underlying causes of these problems. One study found that more than half of all suicides in juvenile facilities occurred when young people were held in isolation. Solitary confinement is also counterproductive, and it does not actually work to deter violence. Research shows that extreme isolation actually causes increased antisocial behaviors and aggressive tendencies, and that these can persist in the long term. Several jurisdictions that have reduced the use of solitary have actually witnessed a decrease in prison violence. This bill effectively bans the use of room confinement for juveniles except in limited circumstances, which would bring Hawaii into alignment with the federal First Step Act, which is the national standard. So we urge the committee to pass this measure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, that's all we have that signed up. We have Office of the Public Defender that support, Office of Youth Services and support, Hawaii Disability Rights Center providing comments, Opportunity Youth Action Hui support, Hawaii Psychological Association in support. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none. Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Okay, to SB 2274 SD2 relating to the Center of Nursing, Board of Nursing.
Thank you, Chair Yamane. My name is Leanne Tashima. I'm the Executive Officer for the Board of Nursing. We'll stand on our written comments.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hawaii State Center for Nursing.
Good morning, Chair. This is Laura Reichart, Director of the Hawaii State Center for Nursing. Thank you for hearing this measure. The Center for Nursing stands on our written testimony in strong support. And in addition, I just want to note, as I mentioned in the testimony, that Section 2, subsection B offers new language that provides additional protections to nurses that would prohibit or not prohibit, but not require forfeiture should the nurse not be able to complete the nursing workforce survey. And we felt that addition that appears in SD2 provides additional protections that would benefit the nurse.
Okay, thank you. Queens Health Systems.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. John Garibaldi with the Queens Health Systems. We're going to just stand on our written testimony and support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. University of Hawaii.
Good morning, Chair Yamane, Vice Chair Tam, and members of the committee. My name is Clementina Sergio-Ulep, Interim Dean for the University of Hawaii at Manoa, Nancy Atmospero Watt School of Nursing, formerly School of Nursing and Dental Hygiene. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony in strong support for Senate Bill 2274 SD2 relating to the Center for Nursing. I stand by my testimony and available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have testimony by Hawaii ANA in support, Catherine Finn Davis in support, Alan Novak in opposition, and Kaiser Permanente in support. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to SB 2276 SD2 relating to acupuncture. Okay, Board of Acupuncture.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. This is Rise Doi, Executive Officer for the Board of Acupuncture, and we'll stand on our written testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Hawaii Acupuncture Association.
Good morning, Chair Yamani and honorable members of the committee. I'm Dr. Barbara Ota, President of Hawaii Acupuncture Association. We are in support of this measure. We stand on our written testimony, and we also support amendments suggested by Dr. Wei Lo of the Institute of Clinical Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, and I'm available for any questions. Thank you so much for this ability to testify.
Thank you. Okay, we have the Institute for Clinical Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine.
Good morning, members of the committee and Honorable Chair. I stand by my testimony, and I would like to comment on the section E2 on the bill, page number 6, where line number 14, the practice of advanced acupuncture medicine means the practice of acupuncture medicine as further determined by administrative rules, which was watered down with the intent of the bill to include advanced education and training for our profession. I think if we have considered reinserting the language in my testimony, that would give our education institution and the board more guidance. Thank you, and available for question.
Thank you. Okay, that's all we have. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, we have a number of testimonies submitted. Integrated Medicine Oahu support, Kailua Acupuncture Clinic support, Hawaii Medical Association in opposition, AAC in support, Ocean Med Clinic support, Longevity Health Center support, Makai Natural Medicine support, American Academy of Medical Acupuncture in opposition, Chi Lifestyle Medical Center providing comments. We have here in opposition, Mi Yuk Cham, Tammy Leong, Clara Wong. In opposition, in support, we have Nancy Errol Rubin, Barbara Ota, Liberata Oralo, Janet Boyd, Samantha Prees, and Soraya Applegate. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to SB 2280 SD2 relating to dental assistance, Department of Health.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Shim. I'm Chief of the Family Health Services Division at the Department of Health. The department stands on its testimony in support, and I'm here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Board of Dentistry.
Good morning, Chair Yamani, Vice Chair Tam, members of the committee, Sandra Matsushima, Executive Officer of the Board of Dentistry. The board stands on its written testimony in support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hawaii Oral Health Coalition.
Hi, good morning, Chair Yamane, Vice Chair Tam, and members of the committee. My name is Patrick Donnelly. I'm the statewide Oral Health Coalition Manager for the Hawaii Public Health Institute. And we stand on our written testimony in support of this measure and available for any questions you guys have. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have testimony from the Hawaii Children Action Network, Aloha Care, and Hawaii Dental Association, all in support. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to SB 2375 relating to social work. I have, hold on. Okay, Department of Human Services.
Aloha Chair, members of the committee. Kathy Betts, Director for the Department of Human Services. We'll stand on our written testimony. We appreciate the intent and we defer to public safety. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then let's ask the Department of Public, they're not here. Okay, I have here National Association of Social Workers.
Aloha, Chair Yamane, Vice Chair Tam, members of the Health Committee. My name is Becky Gardner, here on behalf of the National Association of Social Workers, Hawaii Chapter. NSAW supports this bill. However, we respectfully request that the language in this bill be revised so that it makes clear that such programming does not imply that a license in social work could be achieved through this program, because licensing and the academics involved requires a master's degree and practicum experience. So we offer suggested amendments in our testimony, and on behalf of our executive director, Sanyan Bigalke Banan, she is on staff at UH School of Social Work and is also on the board at HPU, and she has offered her expertise in trying to craft a program and language to help advance this idea, this laudable idea forward. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we had testimony from the Community Alliance on Prisons, Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition, Dara Carlin, all in support. We have comments provided by Department of Public Safety and Department of Budget and Finance. And we have the Hawaii Health Harm Reduction Center in support. Members, or anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none. Members, any questions? Okay, moving on to SB 2481 relating to youth crisis centers. I have here Department of Human Services.
Morning, Chair. Kathy Betts with the Department of Human Services. We'll stand on our written testimony. We support the intent and we defer to Office of Youth Services on this measure. Thank you.
Okay. Now we'll defer. How about Office of Youth Services? OIS? Nope. Okay. They provided comments as well. Hawaii Youth Services Network.
Aloha Chair, members of the committee. I'm Judith Clark, Executive Director of Hawaii Youth Services Network. I don't know why my video is not working, but I'm here joining you from Saipan. Our homeless youth are our most vulnerable segment of the homeless population. They are children who have not yet completed their education, lack work experience, and do not have the skills for adult living. Some of the facts about our homeless youth: the average age at which they became homeless is 14. 41% of them were forced to leave home by their parents. 3/4 of them report physical, emotional, or sexual abuse. And 40% of them have been beaten or assaulted while they're on the streets. Shelter and other services for this population is inadequate to meet the full need. We encounter over 500 homeless youth on the streets each year. Thank you for this opportunity to testify.
Okay, thank you. We have comments provided by the Governor's Coordinator on Homelessness, comments by BNF, Department of Budget and Finance, and support from Opportunity Youth Action, UI. Anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none. Members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to SB 2482 Sd1 relating to wellness. Department of Human Services.
Morning, Chair. Kathy Betts with DHS. We'll stand on our written testimony in strong support of this measure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Department of Health.
Morning, Chair. This is Tia Hartsock, Department of Health. We stand on our testimony in strong support as well. We are here for any questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Hawaii Youth Services Network.
Aloha, Chair, members of the committee, Judith Clark for Hawaii Youth Services Network. I am the appointed nonprofit representative on the Trauma-Informed Care Task Force, which has been working very hard since it was formed by the legislature last year. We are assessing needs, identifying resources, and working on a plan to ensure that services throughout our state are trauma-informed and culturally sensitive. But in order to make the plans that we are working on a reality, we need staffing support and a dedicated office to address this issue and to coordinate the efforts statewide. Thank you for this opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Okay, Daniel Goya.
Aloha committee. Thank you for hearing this most important bill. I stand on my testimony and just wanted to add that I think as we are moving forward through this pandemic, we should not miscalculate the challenges to mental and behavioral services for those who have gone through the last 2 years and are trying to readjust back to life away from the pandemic. So this office will definitely support all departments, all agencies, and our communities throughout the state. So mahalo for your support.
Okay, nice to see you again. Daniel, put your head in the middle next time because long time no see. All right, moving on to Hawaii Community Foundation.
Hi there, this is Justina Acevedo Cross. I'm testifying on behalf of Micah Kani, CEO and President. Mahalo chairs and members for allowing us to testify today. This bill is really important. We're testifying in strong support because it would help us create the dynamic, coordinated effort across agencies and community organizations to address some of the early adversity that we've been seeing. Hawaii Community Foundation has had the chance to work over the last 3 years with over 100 early childhood providers and 50 clinicians from all different types of settings to address early adversity, ACEs, and other forms of trauma. And we've learned a lot through that work, but some of the major things is that we just don't have enough of a well-coordinated system to support the workforce needs that we have, and in turn support our keiki all the way up through Kapuna. There's some, within our written testimony, we provided some quotes directly from the providers that we've worked with. And I strongly encourage you to support this bill moving forward. The rest is in our written testimony, and I really appreciate you allowing us the time to speak today. Mahalo.
Mahalo, thank you. Okay, NASW, National Association of Social Workers.
Aloha again, Becky Gardner on behalf of NASW Hawaii chapter. NASW supports this proposal, and I'm just coming on here to testify live because I just wanted to sort of share with you personally. This issue is right in front of my face right now. I've reviewed this bill, and I think that's very much needed because my daughter goes to middle school right now, public middle school, and an 8th grade student had threatened to bomb the school, threatened to bring a gun to school, and threatened my daughter specifically that he would follow her home and rape her. So I'm going to a TRO hearing tomorrow to deal with this. And I know the school is struggling on how to grapple with this issue. My own daughter had her own issues during the pandemic. And we are in a crisis right now, very much so. And I think this bill will do tremendous amounts in coordinating between agencies because I think that's what's needed, and we need it immediately. So I appreciate you giving me this space to alert all of you here on this call. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Take care, Becky. Take care of you and your family. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have, I'm going to go through all those that are in support. Executive Office of Early Learning, Hawaii Children's Action Network, Hawaii Kids Cam, Hawaii Community Foundation, Parents and Children Together, Early Childhood Action Strategy, Simran Sindhu, Kamehameha Schools, Early Learning Board, Maria Uehara, Maya Maxon, Keiki Oka'aina, and Brooke Conway, all in support. We have BNF providing budget and finance providing comments, and we have opposition from Gerard Silva. Anybody wishing to testify? Okay, members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Okay, to SB 2624 SD2 relating to health. Okay, I have Department of Health. Right away, as he makes his way to the podium, I want you to know that he's dressed very well in a suit and tie and stayed here patiently. So take it away there, Mr. Kim.
Well, it's an important committee, so I dressed for the occasion. Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee online and present. My name is Lauren Kim. I'm the Planning and Policy Director for DOH. The department supports this measure and has offered specific amendments that provide us a little more flexibility in how we go about implementing a telehealth pilot in a canoe district should this be enacted. We obviously support the intent. Telehealth is a strategic priority for the department, but we want to make sure that this does not disrupt existing community providers and introduces disruptive competition. So we just want to take our time because the model proposed in the draft is very prescriptive. But we put in a trigger in case we take too long and drag our feet to be respectful of the introducer's wishes. So thank you for the opportunity to testify. I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Nice tie. Okay, State Council on Developmental Disabilities in support, Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition in support, UH in support, Hawaii State Center for Nursing provided comments, Queens Health Systems in support, Hawaii Primary Care Association in support, Disability and Communication Access Board in support, Hawaii State Council on Mental Health provided comments, and Budget and Finance also provided comments. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions to the well-dressed Department of Health work? Okay, seeing none. Okay, we're moving on to SB 2670 SD2 relating to the Hawaii State Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Plus Commission. Okay, I have here Department of Human Services.
Morning, Chair. Kathy Betts with DHS. Will stand on our written testimony in support of this measure. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Okay, Stonewall Democratic Party of Hawaii.
Good morning, Michael Gloyu Jr. on behalf of the Stonewall Caucus for the Democratic Party of Hawaii. We Chair Yamani, Vice Chair Tam, we want to thank you for hearing this measure, and we stand in strong support, and we stand at our testimony. Mahalo.
Thank you. Mahalo. Okay, Jeff Esman. Okay. Anybody else wishing to? Oh, sorry. Let me go through the list. Department of Health provided comments. Rainbow Family 808 in support. I'll go through all those in support. Pride at Work Hawaii, Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center, Healing Ministry, Common Cause Hawaii, Affirm Hawaii, Americans for Democratic Action, Individuals Alexander Cho, Ellen Carson, Jamie Stevens, Zahava Zairov, Thaddeus Pham, Nikki Ann Yee, Hawaii Civil Rights Commission, North Shore Ko'olau Diversity Collective, ACLU, Shalani Falsinia, Nichols Laverns, Chris Edwards, and Jeff Esman, all in support. We have comments provided by Department of Health and Department of Budget and Finance, and we have opposition from a Gerard Silva. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, moving on to SV 2678 SD2 relating to Hawaii State Health Insurance Assistance Program. Okay, we have here Department of Health, Executive Office of Aging.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Carolyn Cuddy-Rao here with the Executive Office on Aging. And we support the intent of Senate Bill 2678 SD2 which relates to the Hawaii SHIP program, State Health Insurance Assistance Program here within the EOA. This program is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year, and we really need to grow the program to meet the growing demand of our aging population. SHIP provides invaluable, unbiased counseling and education services to older adults, their family, caregivers, and soon-to-be retirees. The purposes of this bill is to appropriate funds for SHIP to support operating costs so that we can expand our services in the community, and we ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have Ethan Miyamoto.
Hello, my name is Ethan Miyamoto, and I'm a volunteer at Hawaii SHIP, and I'm also an MSW student at the University of Hawaii. And so through my volunteering experience here at Hawaii SHIP, I have gained a plethora of knowledge. And so one of the most impactful things that I have learned is that Medicare can be very complicated. It's full of many intricacies and rules that the average person wouldn't know. And so this program provides that knowledge for the general public. And so with this bill, our program would be better able to assist the residents of our state. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then we have Shari Nagatani.
Aloha, Senators. Thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of SB 2678, seeking state funding for the Hawaii SHIP program to meet the increasing demands of the growing Medicare population. As a University of Hawaii MSW graduate student specializing in the field of gerontology, I witnessed the need for services and support for older adults in Hawaii. The Medicare program is complex and difficult to navigate as a student, and twice as likely or more to be for older adults and their families. According to the National Council of Aging, current studies have shown that older adults routinely make mistakes when selecting Medicare plans, resulting in costly consequences detrimental to their overall well-being. Hawaii SHIPS educates and helps older adults with their Medicare plan options and identifying potential eligibility for financial assistance. Hence, as a future clinician and advocate, I strongly support SB 2678 relating to the State Health Insurance Assistance Program to increase the number of volunteers statewide and to hire additional staff to meet the needs of our kupuna. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have testimony all in support from Hawaii Family Caregivers Coalition, AARP, Catholic Charities Hawaii, Candice Nakamoto, Victoria Fan, and Dr. Edward Paskin. And we have comments provided by Department of Budget and Finance. Anybody else wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to SB 2882 SD2 relating to community health workers. Department of Health.
Thank you, Chair Yamane and members of the committee. I'm Lola Irvin, representing Director Libby Char for the Department of Health. And the Department of Health offers comments on SB 2882 SD2. We appreciate the intent of this bill, and the department is committed to finding the most inclusive path towards recognition and certification of the community health workers. We acknowledge the important role the community health workers played navigating the pandemic and resources necessary for their communities. And we do appreciate working closely with DCCA and other members of the Community Health Worker Association. Thank you for the opportunity to provide testimony.
Okay, we have Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs.
Good morning, Chair Yamani, members of the committee. Alani Kioki, Licensing Administrator of the Professional and Vocational Licensing Division for the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. I'd just like to summarize our testimony, specifically point the committee to reference regarding Hawaii Revised Statute Section 26H-6, which requires a sunrise analysis of any new implementation of any new licensing program. With regard to that specifically, the statute requires that a legislative bill be analyzed pursuant to a concurrent resolution. The appropriate vehicle for that is Senate Concurrent Resolution 2. Thank you for the opportunity to provide oral comments, and I'd be happy to answer any questions the committee has. Thank you.
Thank you. Hawaii Public Health Institute.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Rosalind Handy, representing Hawaii Public Health Institute, providing comments on SB 2882. We stand on our written testimony and wanted to add that we support the overall intent of this bill. However, we have some concerns with the current language that we outlined in our testimony. Mahalo for your time.
Thank you. Okay, and we have testimony submitted by the Hawaii Substance Abuse Coalition, Hawaii Primary Care Association in support, Papa'ola Lokahi in support, Hawaii CHW Association in support, Hawaii Home Birth Collective providing comments, Grace Flores provided comments, Department of Budget and Finance provided comments, and Chaslyn Nicole Gaspar in support. Anybody wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, the chair has questions for DCCA, Alani.
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
good, I was worried. Okay, so I know we talked about this earlier, but just to clarify then, so under the HRSs, as you guys interpret it, it would require under the Hawaii Regulatory Licensing Reform Act that in order to institute this review, it would require a concurrent resolution passing both chambers?
Correct.
Okay.
And that
so
the
then-
auditor, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to state that the auditor analyzed the possibility of the program through a legislative bill.
Okay, so I know the auditor didn't comment, but under your guys' interpretation, under the 26H-6, is that then this wouldn't be allowable under the way the law is currently written?
Well, this statute requires that it be analyzed prior to the implementation of a program.
Okay, and you guys are committed to doing the sunrise review?
The auditor would perform the sunrise review. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving, any further questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to SB 3248 relating to ambulances. Okay, let's see, Department of Health.
Yes, good morning, Chair Yamani, members of the committee. This is Dr. Alvin Bronstein for the EMS IPSB Division of the Department of Health, and the department stands on our written testimony. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Doc. William Bailey.
Yeah, good morning, Chair Yamane, Vice Chair Tam. Speedy Bailey.
Yes, that's
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be here in person. I'm here I'm the Regional Director for American Medical Response. We've provided service Maui County and Molokai for 40 years plus. I was back here in 2008 for a bill for Molokai for a second ambulance. We've been dealing with the situation where one ambulance services the whole island of Molokai. There's no backup coming from anywhere, not from East Honolulu, not from Maui. So it's been 40 years, we've been very challenged when there are two calls in county. You have to make decisions, you have to make tough decisions. We tried to do it with private sector resources. We tried to do it with volunteers. We've tried to do it by splitting our crews, which is not pono. But we really believe that this is a time where resources are so needed on Molokai. We found out during the pandemic that people couldn't even commute at times. And it's very vulnerable, and we're left with just the services that are on island. Having a second resource ambulance would add to the depth for any kind of situation, the day-to-day situations that we encounter. Also brings more resources to the island that's much needed for access to care. And we can use these paramedics in other ways in the community through the community paramedic program to get out there and make a difference in primary care on the island. So I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We have a whole list of testimony in support from Hana Health, Molokai Community Health Centers, individuals, Michael Romo, Jeanette Logan, Faith Tuipolotu, Tito Villanueva, Noah Miyamoto, Alana de Chronics Miyamoto, Gabriel Naole, Tiana Duvanchel, Jacob Botello, Jean Ross Davis, and Rosie Davis. And we have comments provided by Department of Budget and Finance. Anybody here wishing to testify? Seeing none, members, any questions? Okay, Representative Ward.
Thank you, Chair. The gentleman from Molokai, did you fly in from Molokai this morning?
No, I did not. I'm
You're
here
based
on
there?
Oahu. I'm on Oahu.
Well, you're based, okay.
Yeah.
on Oahu. But as you said, it's refreshing to see face to face.
Absolutely.
That is encouraging.
By the way, we refer to Molokai as East Oahu, if it helps.
Well, you are.
Well,
very
you're
polite.
based in Halawa, so.
Yeah.
So, he's very plugged in, clearly. But my question is, have you been coming before this committee, this body since 2008, or did I mishear you saying that you put this up in 2008 and now it's 2022?
Funny how time flies. We haven't been here in front of this body for this initiative since 2008. At that point in time, we were told that data speaks loud and the call volume didn't warrant a second ambulance on Molokai. So noted. In the last 14 years, we've tried to cover the island through, like I mentioned, a myriad of methods in order to triage patients and take care of simultaneous calls that happen with not frequency, but every one that happens is somebody's delayed care.
So what does the data say now? How many ambulances do you need according to the data?
Well, I'll leave that to the Department of Health, EMS branch, but this is more than just a data-driven situation, because again, if the state is expecting us to handle the whole demographic of the island with one ambulance, what if you have a call on the east side and the west side?
Have people died?
Yeah,
because-
problem.
Have people died because of that?
I don't think I have to
Okay.
speak to the Molokai history on healthcare. And there's a lot of people
My
that have
last question is this: how much money do you need?
an ambulance, fully staffed. Today's rate is probably 1.5 mil.
For 1 year?
24/7, 1 year.
1.5 million per year.
I would add that Maui County is one of the few counties in the Western region that is actually fully staffed with medics and EMTs. This is a rarity in today's world. The shortages of healthcare workers everywhere. We're very proud of the fact that we have the personnel for this kind of expansion. It wouldn't come at any extra cost. It's just relocating the resources that we currently have.
Thank you. We'll talk about East Honolulu offline.
Certainly.
Good, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Speedy, and also AMR for your guys' help with doing diverts and everything.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Take care. Okay, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, moving on to the last measure, SB 3323 SD2, relating to attachments. We have Hawaii Credit Union League. Ms. Sakamoto.
Good morning, Chair, members of the committee. Stephanie Sakamoto on behalf of the Hawaii Credit Union League will stand in our testimony in opposition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and we have testimonies from in opposition from the Mortgage Bankers Association, Gerard Silva, Marvin Dang, Hawaii Bankers Association, and the Collection Law section of the Hawaii State Bar Association, all in opposition. We have support from Hawaii Health Harm Reduction, David Duches, and Lori Ferret. Members, any questions for Ms. Sakamoto? Okay, seeing none. Members and audience, we will take a recess to determine decision-making and reconvene at 11:30 for DM. Thank you. Recess. Welcome back, everybody. We are reconvening the Committee on Health, Human Services, and Homeless for decision-making for the Tuesday, March 15th, 2022, 9 a.m. agenda. So members, first bill, SB 2032 SD2 relating to genetic information privacy. Members, the recommendation of chair is to move this measure forward as an HD1. We are going to put in, to make sure it's clear, that language relating to that HIPAA companies are not affected, and it's because they still fall under federal law. So we're having HMSO work on that, the clarifying language with technical amendments and a 7/1/2050 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2032 SD2. Recommendation is passed with amendments. Chair, Vice Chair votes aye. Rep. Gates. Rep. Har.
Aye.
Rep. Capella.
Aye.
Rep. Nishimoto. Rep. Ward.
Aye.
Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Members, moving to SB 2115 SD1 relating to room confinement of minors. Members, a recommendation that chair is to move this judiciary measure forward. We will be putting in the judiciary's proposed amendments, and we'll be putting a 7/1/20 effective date for further discussion. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2115 SD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair, Vice Chair votes aye. And noting all members present and none excused, any reservations? Any noes? Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, members, moving on to SB 2274 SD2 relating to the Center of Nursing. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this measure forward as an HD1. Members, we'll be deleting some of the preamble, the bottom of page 1, all of page 2, all of page 3, and up until page 4. There were some questions regarding making some changes to that, so we'll be deleting that. We need to make other additional technical amendments, and we'll be putting a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2274 SD2, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Any reservations? Any noes? Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Members, moving on to SB 2276 SD2 relating to acupuncture. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this measure forward. Members, we're going to be changing the language wherever it reference physician. It'll be changed to doctor, so that there's no confusion regarding physician MD versus doctor. We need to make additional technical amendments, and we will be putting a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2276 SD2, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Any reservations? Any noes? Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 2280 SD2 relating to dental assistance. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this as an HD1. We need to make technical amendments and put a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2280 SD2, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Any reservations? Any noes? Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, members, moving on to SB 2375 SD1 relating to social work. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this as an HD1. We need to make technical amendments. I think the next committee is more appropriate to make some of those look into some of the prescriptive issue, but we're going to be doing technical amendments and a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2375 SD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Noting all members present, any reservations? Any noes? Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 2481 SD2 relating to youth crisis. Recommendation of the chair is to move this measure with technical amendments and a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2481 ST2, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Noting all members present, any reservations? Rep. Ward votes with reservations. Any noes? Chair recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 2482 SD1 relating to wellness. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this measure forward as an HD1. We're going to put in language as requested by DOH to allow them to assign additional employees as requested. We're going to make technical amendments and a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2482 SD1, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Noting all members present, any reservations? Any noes? Chair recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 2624 SD2 relating to health. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this measure forward in light of the support of our neighbor islands. We're gonna be putting in Department of Health's amendments. We'll be having tech amendments and a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2624 SD2, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Noting all members present, any reservations? Any noes? Chair recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 2670 SD2 relating to the Hawaii State Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Plus Commission. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this measure forward as an HD1. We are going to take the amendments as provided or testified by DHS. I think there was an addition issue, so we're going to need to change 7 to 8 members. We need to make technical amendments and we'll put in a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2670 ST2, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Noting all members present, anyone with reservations? Any noes? No from Rep. Ward. Anyone else voting no? Chair recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 2678 SD2 relating to Hawaii State Health Insurance Assistance Program. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this measure forward, making technical amendments and a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 2678, Chair SD2, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Noting all members present, any reservations? Any noes? Chair recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 2882 SD2 relating to community health workers. Members, I talked with DCCA. We did confirm regarding their testimony requesting a deferral regarding the HRS standard. And there is a Senate concurrent resolution coming to address that. So the chair is going to defer this measure. Moving on to SB 3248 SD1 relating to ambulance. Members, the recommendation of the chair is to move this measure forward. It is an appropriation request. It may or may, hopefully it makes it in the budget, but we'll be moving it forward for continued discussion using a 7/1/2060 effective date. Members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Vice Chair.
Voting on Senate Bill 3248 SD1, Chair's recommendation is passed with amendments. Noting all members present, any reservations? Any noes? Chair recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to SB 3323 SD2 relating to attachments. Members, in light of the testimony, the chair did talk with various entities regarding some of the unintended consequences and concerns. This needs more work, so the chair is going to defer this measure. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. Okay, we are done. We're adjourned.